pair of divers swim through a dark, tight space, some sort of underwater stone corridor. They reach the end, and the corridor opens into a massive amphitheater. The only light emanates from the flashlight and headlamps they have with them. This light plays over a large metallic structure, though the entire thing has long since been claimed by barnacles, algae, and other underwater sea life. A shadow moves in the empty seating portion of this large space, but the divers miss it and approach the large metal apparatus. They seem to be taking a lot of pictures, and one of them is about to approach this metal device when a sharp object flies through the water and glances off their arm. A thin trail of blood starts to spread in the water. The two divers immediately turn back the way they came, and from areas of the amphitheater, we see several figures in the dark rising and holding similar long, pointed shapes. They rush forward in a sudden burst of bubbles and underwater movement towards the divers. And our camera cuts to black. The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next host, me, Damien Edgecrest.
Nice.
I love that.
Little Twilight Zone over here.
Seriously.
Yeah. How do you throw a welcome party for someone like Amity? Do you think we could fit welcome back from your 2-year-long romp through the Havens, even though you didn't know it was 2 years, where you promised we're not mad at you and we love you, on a banner? I'll figure it out. I'm Raven Eugenia.
That's a good intro, Brittany.
That's fucking solid.
That's so cute. That's so on brand for Raven.
I had to figure out the wording in my head. It was a lot.
What do you mean I need a magic license? I'm Amity Starnbrook.
In no world is Damien my son. And yet, much like a Damian Wayne, he's my friggin' Robin, apparently. I'm Hugo Rashad.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Yes!
I'm Lonnie Whitaker. God, it sure feels like the morning after.
Wow.
It's really nice sleeping in. I'm Aiden Brightwood. Let's have an adventure. Last time, our heroes welcomed back Amity Starnbrook, who had returned from the Folk Havens. Though it turns out, Amity was not aware of how long they had spent amongst the Folk's various demiplanes. So, some tough conversations had to be had. People needed to be caught up on how everything had changed since they last saw each other. Whitaker spoke with Elias Easty and had a very frank conversation about both his own curse and Elias's in regards to wielding the magic sword Damocles. Damien contacted Hugo, looking to celebrate the victory against Dr. Salem's gang of criminals. Hugo, however, had plans, both a date night with Anya and then work to be done under the watchful eyes of Dr. Aranya Kabe. Taking Damien with him as a impromptu sidekick, Hugo traveled to the Pearl District and observed King Octopus is once again employing the services of renowned oceanic explorer Aaron Pike. And we checked in with Valentine, who, after accidentally repairing the clock tower in which she was taking temporary refuge, had to flee into the rain in a very sad end of an episode of the Hulk TV series piano solo moment. Eventually, a friend of theirs, a young goblin woman named Trixie Hobb, invited Val back to her place. The two of you ordered Chinese and settled in for a cozy night of camaraderie. So, we will pick up in the morning with Amity Starnbrook. Amity, what would you like to do? It is the morning after you have come home, literally home. You're at your mom's house in Autumn Falls in your old room.
Yeah. She's going to get up, see if mom's car is still in the driveway.
It would depend how late you slept in.
We did talk about something with Amity's sleep.
Remind me, because it's been a while since we talked about it.
We had talked about her not needing to sleep as regularly as an average human.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
So if mom is still around, she would try to make breakfast.
Yeah.
Probably using gravitational magic because she's just not like thinking about it. It's very, you know that scene in Sleeping Beauty when they're like trying to make a cake?
I was going to say it's the Sleeping Beauty baking a cake, but actually making like a nice breakfast.
But like actually, yeah, exactly. Making a nice breakfast and just like doing these things like just a wave of the hand and up comes a whisk to like stir some eggs or whatever. And like if there's an apron, she floats it over to herself and puts it over her head without actually touching it. A very magical morning to make mom breakfast, especially because of such a tense reunion last night.
Mm-hmm. Question for you. Do you think Whisper and Tom help you?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely they do.
What do they do?
She's gonna make omelets. So Tom is getting the veggies out of the fridge for her, like some mushrooms and stuff like that. And he's just like carrying them in his little itty paws over to the counter. Whisper has like grabbed a bag of like 4-cheese Mexican blend like out of the fridge and just like holds it up for her. And meanwhile, she's like salting and like peppering like the egg. I actually don't eat omelets, by the way. I don't like eggs at all. So I'm like totally guessing off the top of my fucking head right now because my mom used to eat omelets like crazy. So yeah, she's making an omelet for herself and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
If Angela walks downstairs, she'll just see a bunch of like floating shit as her daughter is like making breakfast.
I think she definitely comes down still in her like robe, like ready to make a cup of coffee or tea or something, and like sees the kitchen fully taken over by your fanciful magic. Okay, I'm gonna shower. Can you put the coffee on for me?
Yep. And she just waves a hand and a little mug floats over and like Whisper goes over and taps the button with their little snoot.
They boop the thing and the beans.
Yep. Just like kind of forgetting for a minute what mom had asked for the night before, which was like, hey, I need things to just happen gradually.
Yep.
And that completely went out the window out of her brain. And like while things are like cooking, she's like also making herself like a little to-do list. Like she stopped to grab a scrap of paper. We see her like scroll out phone, magic license with like 4 question marks. Check it with Mira and Beatrice. Meet up with friends. And like friends, the little dot over the I is actually like a little heart and just like puts like to do at the top.
Mm-hmm. You see on the counter as you're like setting the table a like carton of cream and like a little jar with like a sugar spoon in it are like sort of toddling over towards you, like unbidden by your magic. Mm-hmm. And we see as they're set down 2 like sleepy looking bogalogs with like little nightcaps on. They look like they're still in their pajamas. They're not used to getting up as early as you are because they're on Angela's schedule.
Right,
and so they're just like, she takes 2 cream and 1 sugar. Oh. And they like go and disappear into a little like tile that they kind of like slide away. There's a little like mouse house elf hole they go into and then slide it behind them.
She doesn't say anything. She just lets them go back to sleep.
Yep.
But yeah, she'll scoop that into the coffee for them. I wonder if she would have known that before. I feel like if anything, they tell her that. And I think maybe she like takes comfort in that, like, at least some little things haven't changed, you know? Because so much has changed. Yeah.
Eventually, your mom comes down. She's dressed for work.
Yep. Coffee is on the counter, made the way she likes it.
You'll note that she is not in her scrubs.
What is she wearing?
And just like office attire, like she's been promoted. She's more in like a managerial position now.
Yeah, she just makes note of the change of outfit and she goes, "Oh, you look so fancy," and like sets like the omelet like plated in front of her.
Your mom just smiles, takes the compliment. She says, "Thank you. Yeah, I don't have to deal with vomit on a daily basis anymore, so that's nice."
Well, hopefully then you can keep your breakfast down.
Hopefully. And she kind of like takes the first bite and then pauses as she's like chewing it and kind of like takes in that first bite. And she goes, "When did you learn to cook?"
While I was gone, kind of figured it out as I went.
It's really good.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
She takes a sip of her coffee, which is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And she also smiles at that, not knowing that like the Bogalogs reminded you or whatever, but like, you know, she'll take it as like a, you got it right for her.
Mm-hmm. So I do have a few things I need to take care of. Magical licenses are a thing. So apparently what I'm doing right now, and you see like the kitchen is kind of like cleaning itself up. She goes, "This might be illegal, so please don't tell anybody. I'm gonna get a license. Like I know I have to. It sounds really boring, but I'm gonna do it. And I need to get a new phone. I think I'm just gonna go get one of those ones that like she like pantomimes like a flip phone. I just need to be able to call and text people. I don't really need anything super fancy."
Your mom fishes into her like purse and hands you a credit card.
"Oh, Mom, you don't need to do that."
Your account, I couldn't renew it when the card expired, so you can use this for now.
"Are you sure?"
Yeah, you can pay me back.
"Okay, thanks. I need to check in on Mira because when we got back, she also didn't realize how long we had been gone, and Beatrice was probably super worried about her. So I should probably go visit them and make sure everything's okay. I should probably go see Whitaker and everyone. I might take a weekend away."
Your mom says, "There is a extra set of keys by the door."
"I'll be back Monday, the latest.
Okay.
I'll get the phone first so I can text you."
Thank you. Just let me know where you end up. And if you need to come back here, you can always sleep here. I've got to get to work.
"Yeah, you better get going. Love you, Mom."
Love you too, sweetie. She'll down the rest of her coffee, lean over, give you a kiss on the cheek, and then she will grab her stuff and head out the door.
She'll like sort of follow her to the door and kind of like wave to her from the doorway.
As you like close the door and hit the latch, the very like last of a moving broom and dustpan like sweep the floor of the kitchen, put it in the trash, and then like the lid closes and they both clatter into the corner in place.
I think she kind of like sags a little bit after her mom is gone. Like some of the energy is sort of drained out of her. And then in true anime protagonist fashion, she shakes her head and like taps her cheeks and like perks herself right back up and goes back to the kitchen to like finish her breakfast.
Tom like flitters over and lands on the spigot of the kitchen sink and just kind of like regards you.
She just smiles at him. "I've missed you, buddy."
He chitters happily and will fly over to eat a piece of toast your mom didn't finish. It's whole grain, so it's full of nuts and seeds he likes.
She hadn't changed out of the dress that she showed up in the day before. But I think she'll go up to her old room and like try to find some less surprising clothes to wear.
It's all just like neatly hung up or like folded in drawers.
So she'll find like a loose fitting t-shirt. So it's like, it's stuff that's still flowy, but there's a weird itchiness to it. There's a weird feeling of being constricted.
Consider Amity's bag of holding.
Oh, what?
I don't see why, as a young witch in the Havens, she wouldn't just have a bag with like a bunch of stuff in it, like extra clothes and things she would have bought from like merchants in the Havens, that sort of thing. Like,
That's so valid, and I did not consider that.
you just want to have her have a bunch of stuff and it's like all in a little knit satchel that she carries around. That makes perfect sense to me.
I'm so down for that. Yeah, okay. So her clothes are just not feeling quite right. So she's going to go over to her bag and dig through, and she'll pull out the simplest dress that she has.
Mm-hmm.
It is somehow still very flowy, but I feel like it's going to be very Kiki's Delivery Service vibes. Like, it's very plain and it's basically a giant glorified t-shirt, but it just seems to just flutter in the breeze constantly. She definitely has, I think, like some tights in there too. They're like woolen tights or whatever to like pull on.
It is fall.
And then she still has her same boots. So she already feels 10 times more comfortable.
There's something about like the structure of denim that just feels really weird to you now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just feels odd. She gives herself like a little once over in her mirror. Feels a lot more comfortable, a lot more herself. And she's going to sling the bag over her shoulder, grab her staff, and head out for the day.
I'll say, as you are like giving yourself the once over in the mirror, you see sitting on your old dresser a little stack of acorns.
Natalie! Okay. So she's going to go out to the backyard to start.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to very trepidatiously walk up to her tree.
You can see the tree is, you know, it's fall, so the leaves are, if not fallen, changing colors and starting to fall. And it was a big tree your whole life. It's one of those trees where, like, yes, technically it's probably growing, but it's hard to tell because it was already so big since your earliest memories of it. And still, from like one low-hanging bough is the little rope swing.
She will gently set her staff down off to the side and sit on the swing. And I think she just kind of looks around at the backyard, sort of taking in the fact that she is home.
Whisper pads across the yard in like a couple steps, then a leap, then their wings open up and they sort of and land in your lap and just curl up.
This cute as fuck little frickin'. Yeah, she'll start petting them. I think she just mumbles something along the lines of, I can't believe it took us this long to get back.
Whisper turns their head up to look at you, their ears kind of twitching as they listen to the birds in the neighborhood and the sound of other cars starting down the street. People are starting their mornings. They kind of scan your yard and then like put their head on their two front paws and fold their ears back.
Do you feel comfortable here? I kind of feel like a stranger.
The flame of their tail, which has a substance to it, like as you're petting them, the tail feels like a continuation of their furry body, even though it looks like the blue fire. But when you ask the question, it does diminish somewhat, and the flames appear less bright. Roll charm for me, Amity.
Oh, okay, interesting. 9.
I think you pick up on that, you know, Whisper is a spirit, and they would be much more comfortable in the Havens.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll recall, or maybe you can like reflect on, that this is the first time Whisper has been back here since the road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And for part of them, it is the first time they have been back here since they were killed.
Ooh.
Because Inari, the kitsune half of your familiar, met you on the road.
Oh, right. And we had fought Inari way back when.
Mm-hmm.
I think she kind of gives them like some softer, more gentle pets as if to soothe them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so bad here. There's a lot of good memories, and we can make new ones. We have friends here, and Mom's here, and Tom's here. It doesn't have to just be what we remember, right? You and I, we're so different now.
You see that their tail brightens and they wag it a little bit, but they just keep their head in your lap.
I'm just going to keep petting them.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes, she'll probably get up because they got things to do. She'll like go to the tree proper and just put a hand on. It's good to be back.
It's good to speak with you again, Amity.
How have you been?
Seasons come and go, and I remain.
It's been a while. Guess I lost track of time. Or didn't have it to begin with?
That tends to happen when we grow up. You seem well.
I feel better, but I still have a lot of questions that need answering. I didn't figure out everything I needed to, and I just hope I don't disappoint anyone by not having all the answers.
You have just returned to a very different world than the one you left.
Yeah, no kidding.
Answers will come with time. Go and live in this new world, Amity.
She just nods and then proceeds to hug the tree.
You hold it there, for a moment, just hugging your tree, and you feel a little as an acorn hits the top of your head.
She giggles, puts it in her bag. Thanks. And thank you for all the gifts you left before while I was gone.
They were my pleasure to give.
Goes and picks up her staff, and she's off.
Whisper will leap onto the staff with you, and we see Amity from above the house fly by on your staff. Whitaker.
Hello.
Back at your apartment in Portland is the following morning. You probably wake up a little later than usual, considering it's a day after a mission, and so you therefore have it off as per agency protocols. What do?
Can I posit he actually unwillingly wakes up a little bit earlier when Prithee has to get up to go to work?
Sure.
I just want to catch them before they go out.
I kind of like the idea that Whitaker's internal clock is so regulated that he wakes up when he wakes up and it never changes.
6 a.m. rolls around.
Gotta run.
Yeah, I think not even from Whitaker's point of view, I think Prithee is in the kitchen or whatever, or getting ready, and hears just a muffled series of thumps from Whitaker's room, a bit of British swearing, and then after a second they get a call from him on their phone.
They pick up, they say, the park's not going anywhere.
God, I never know how you manage to be so quippy at 6 a.m. Sorry, I meant to grab you on your way out, but could you get something for me? You're up, right?
I'm up. They have an everything bagel with some cream cheese, lox, and then seaweed salad, just prepackaged, and some little dots of sriracha around it that they're working on.
That almost sounds edible. Amazing.
Yeah, character growth. It's been 2 years. Prithee's tastes have been refined by being around Whitaker so often. I think they just start approaching your room. Can't find the remote to your acorn lift chair?
Shut up, Prith. You're killing me. He laughs, but it's a little bit forced. No, I need you to go over to my coat hanging by the door. Could you do that for me? The wool one with a non-trivial amount of blood on the lining now. Could you reach inside that inner pocket for me?
Okay. They turn around.
What is going on here?
And they go to the jacket, reach inside the pocket.
They find a disembodied pinky.
Oh my fucking Christ, on a bike!
If you make a fart noise when I pick this up, I swear to God. They pull the pinky out and look it over, and they say, "Okay, what's the bit? I can admit it. I don't get this one."
Happy birthday, Prith. It's a flash drive. Picked it up yesterday. Was wondering if you get a chance, could you maybe check to make sure it's not just lousy with viruses before I plug it into my company laptop?
Sure. Oh, I see. And they like press a little button on one of the knuckle joints, and the like thumb drive actually slides itself out of the tip of the finger. Interesting. And you definitely don't want Gimmer to find this.
Yes. Yes, that's a good point. This is really something I shouldn't be explaining over the phone. Just come here for a moment.
And so they will pick up their plate and come by to the door, and they say, Whittaker, you okay? You feeling sick, or?
You can come in. I'm not trying to delay you. I just didn't want to say anything about the Eastie investigation over the phone, you know?
Sure. They'll open the door to your room and walk in.
The room's still pretty dark. Shades are down. There's just a little bit of morning light coming into the room, and Whittaker is sitting on the floor. His back is to the bed, and he's like discreetly massaging his ankle. Even in the little bit of light, though, he looks just pretty ragged. But he's being very casual about it.
Prithvi just sort of posts up in the door frame, looking you over.
All right, as much as I adore making you late for work, I do need to make this quick. That flash drive came from Val, the loose end, the one we were interrogating a few days back.
Right.
She handed it off as a sort of peace offering. I don't know, it might be a trap or something, but theoretically it should have all of the emails and maybe some other files from Salem's computer. I know we took the hard drive itself into evidence, but while you and I have our own copy of the information, it might be worth looking and seeing if there's anything on Olivia in there.
I can scrub through the data, sure. I mean, what they recovered seems to have had some sort of like a burner protocol on it. So we weren't able to recover much in terms of designs or plans. You know how these mad scientists can get very protective of their IP.
That makes sense. So this might be the only copy. Assuming this also hasn't been fucked with.
I'll do my best to find something of use.
If you do get around to looking through it, just promise me you'll be careful.
They twiddle the pinky in their fingers and they're like, you worried about another ghost?
Prithvi, I'm serious. Elias knows about the investigation.
Their jovial banter immediately stops. And they almost like reset their stance in the doorway. And they say, how much?
Unclear. He knows I've been snooping around. Josephine told him about our interview. I don't know if he knows if there's a full-blown investigation, but he's not an idiot. I'm sure he could guess. Luckily, I don't think there's any reason for him to suspect your involvement, and I'd like to keep it that way.
So would I. He didn't do anything about you, unless you're paralyzed, and that's why you can't come out into the kitchen to talk to me about this.
I'm fine, Prith. I just pushed myself too hard yesterday. Honestly, Elias seemed more pissed off about me talking to his wife than actually asking questions about the family history. But other than that, he didn't hurt me, not beyond training at least. Anyway, my point is, if Elias could suspect that the Easties are being investigated, we should assume that Olivia could suspect it as well. Not that what we're doing is strictly illegal, but if there is information on that flash drive that does tie the director to King O, I don't want to risk her doing something retaliatory.
I mean, investigating the people in charge of the organization, wherein which the investigation bureau is a subset, I think certainly warrants some worry that there might be an attempt to shut that down and supersede the safeguards that are meant to not be superseded, but also it's fucking the Easties. It's their whole... Everything's named after them, for crying out loud. They just run a like frustrated hand through like the side shave of their hair.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how best to proceed in this situation other than carefully, like always. And Prith, I don't want you to get caught. Not again.
Don't let caution lead to failure. If making moves or taking a risk is the better tactic, then caution might be holding you back from the answers you're after. It might be time to let caution go, especially if it's born out of worry of me. I could take care of myself, Whitaker.
Yeah, but last time you said that, you got put under house arrest.
And I maxed out all of my WoW characters. It was a delight. I have to go to work.
Wait. One last thing, Prith. Final thing, Prith, and please do not laugh at me for this. I need you to go into my closet and get my walking cane for me.
They walk in, they get the cane, they give it to you, they don't look at you. They pause in your doorway and they say, if you're going to be cautious, spare some for yourself. If you burn out on this, I'll take it personally. And then they walk by Damien's room. Rent's due, Damien. Take care of Whitaker today. And then they will leave.
He waits until he hears the door close to mutter to himself. Duly noted, Agent Devon.
We see Prithee pause just outside the apartment. Their hands at their sides form little fists. They wipe at the corners of their eyes and mutter under their breath. God. Stupid. Damn it. And they walk briskly down the hall to go into work. Damien, you are awoken by 3 loud bangs on your door as you hear your roommate Prithee telling you to get up and take care of Whitaker.
The camera is still outside of Damien's room as the door opens and you just see this mound of blanket start slouching, crawling its way across the floor, slowly getting up to sort of a walking hunch.
Sort of a slimy looking silhouette of a mound of blankets rippling across the floor.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Whitaker is slowly rising to his feet and just sort of grumbling and groaning. It's fine. Just, could you get a kettle on for me? We gotta do a welcome home party for Amity. Put on 2 kettles.
The blanket mound just turns and heads towards the kitchen to get our kettle and our backup kettle going. A pretty British household.
Yeah. There's the kettle and the company kettle.
Yeah, Damien has started the water and is like asleep on the counter now.
Hugo, you wake. We've said you have an apartment just like in the very magical district of the city, right?
Yep.
What's a typical morning look like for you?
Is this the follow-up from that same night?
Yes, the morning after you went out with Damien to spy on King O.
Okay. Wakes up, checks the news. He doesn't make breakfast. He actually goes down to the corner store bodega, picks up some things, and then he usually just goes right into the community center. He will most likely stop just in case to pick up donuts and stuff because there is almost inevitably going to be someone still outside on the other side of the street.
Yeah. Who's the person you always see? Like who's the person that knows you as a regular at this place?
Oh no, I have to make a character name.
Anybody can chime in. We're world building a little bit here.
His name is Polly.
Okay.
I was going to suggest Johnny, something real simple.
Yeah, sure. I like Polly. I think Polly is like a kind of like broad parrot harpy.
There it is.
Polly has the coloration of a blue and gold macaw with short white feathers that cover his cheeks and chin, almost like stubble. Bright yellow gold feathers peeking out over the top of his simple t-shirt and cook's apron. And then like a receding hairline of bright blue plumage. His arms are rough and scaled down towards the hands, which end in long, dexterous talons. And more blue and gold feathers extend from his arms, but are tucked neatly back so they don't catch on the grill. Morning, boss. Your usual, then.
Please and thank you.
They quickly throw together a breakfast sandwich for you. And then give you like a dozen glazed donuts from the bakery counter. You know, the other workers wave to you with a couple of human employees here. Say, hi, Hugo. Morning, Hugo. Polly will give you the package, and he says, gonna be a cold one. Just keep going, boss. You got this.
Thanks.
You leave the bodega, head over to the community center. Sure enough, the gathering of folk protesters are there across the street at the public park. It's kind of the point now where, like, they're there, but also, like, kids' soccer games are still happening, and, like, people are walking their dogs, and they kind of just, like, it's kind of the point now where, like, the dog walkers will, like, stop and talk to some of these folk protesters, and they're, like, chatting or whatever. And Falden starts chewing out one of the other folk who seems to be having a chat with a lady who's walking several dogs. The folk seems super embarrassed, and they just quietly go back to the protest line holding their sign up. But the woman with the dogs looks pissed on their behalf and flips Falden off like, this park doesn't belong to you, asshole. They just asked to pet the dogs. And she moves on.
So Hugo's going to drop off the donuts. He'll quickly go into the community center for a second, and he'll come back out with a long foldable table and some chairs, and he's just going to set them up on the corner in front of them.
Okay. They all look at you suspiciously.
He's going to give the most non-threatening smile possible, and then he's going to go inside.
Okay. I think you see Rianne chatting with Rhea, and they just, seem to be catching up. But you also see sitting on, like, one of the bench seats in the lobby of the center is a familiar individual you recognize, Coraline Duskhart.
Huh.
Moth Girl is in her human guise, but you do note her mohawk seems to have some of the, like, static attribute that her, like, moth cryptid form normally has to it. And one swept up as part of the mohawk shape, and the other sort of, like, dangling down over her face like bangs are her two moth cryptid antennae. So she's not quite fully glamored anymore.
We love to see that, honestly. It's very good.
Yeah. But Rianne looks to you and says, there he is, the man I'm here to see.
Oh, that's never good. And here I was so happy to see you.
I can't be excited to see an old friend.
Excited, yes, but when you put it that way, what's up?
Hugo, are you a gambling man?
Technically, yes.
That's exactly the kind of answer I expected. Well, technically, there's a big to-do happening in a couple days over at the Deep, and I wondered if you had any interest.
Define big to-do, like how big of a to-do?
They're throwing some kind of evening event for the grand reopening.
Okay. Huh. And his mind is going to just wander back to that previous night.
Coraline gets up, puts her phone away, and walks over and, like, leans on the welcome desk. And she says, should be some pretty good marks there. I'm hoping to make a quick buck or two.
Some things never change. Do me a favor. Make sure that the marks you choose aren't like people on hard times.
There's no such thing as a millionaire on hard times. Except for me, of course. I'm always on hard times.
And he's going to look over at Rihanna and go, you two were made for each other.
He says, I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment.
Oh, it is. It is absolutely a compliment.
She, giving you like a once up and down, she says, haven't been sleeping well, have you?
Oh, no, I've been sleeping great. Plenty of sleep. All the sleep in the world. Honestly, too much sleep.
Well, oversleeping can be bad for you too. Just be careful, Hugo Rashad.
I wouldn't be a gambling man if I was, would I?
That's what I'm talking about. I knew there was still a little adventurous spirit in this civil servant. And Rianne kind of punches you in the arm lately. Wear something nice. It's going to be a real flashy event. Hey, invite the princess. Or, well, I suppose you might be her plus one, actually. I would offer you a ticket, but Corey was going to invite a designer friend of hers, right? Coraline is on her phone again at this point, and she says in a sort of half-attentive way, yeah, I'd like to, see if Phoebe's free to come out.
Wait. Phoebe Wickett?
Yeah, you know her?
Tangentially? Met a few times. Not that often, but yeah.
Corey and Phoebe have been working on a new designer line, so it's a chance to show it off.
Huh.
Corey looks up from her phone and smirks at you, Hugo, as she drapes herself onto Rianne. I do make some of my money, honestly.
Hey, I never had any doubts about that.
Rebuilding mansions isn't cheap.
Ooh! The one time.
You're never going to let us live that down, are you?
No, not unless you're planning on buying me a mansion. I think the least I can ask is to be able to tease you and your friends about that one forever.
Okay, just remember, you said for us to buy you a mansion. That's all you said. No details.
Oh, that's really cute, Hugo. But when I strike a deal with someone, there's a lot less wordplay involved, if you get what I mean. Rian kind of blushes and extricates himself from Corey, wrapping herself around him even more. Anyway, we're gonna get settled into our hotel. Let me know if you need anything while I'm in town.
Will do. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I'll see you. And then we'll head out.
All right.
Anything else you want to do at the center?
He probably will quickly just pop out his phone and send a quick text to Anya asking if she's aware of the thing that's coming up.
She says, I got the invite this morning. I'm not excited about going, but I plan to be there.
Any chance you'd be interested in making up for the shortened date night from last night?
She sends over, I would take no one else as my +1.
And that's all the happiness he needed.
Let's jump back to Autumn Falls and sweep in with our camera to the living room of Aiden and Raven's apartment. I'm going to say Aiden's still asleep.
Nice. Love that. I think since it is kind of rare for Aiden to sleep, Raven's going to try and get up as quietly as possible and not wake her up. And then go into the kitchen and make breakfast.
Sure.
Because Aiden's 99% of the time the one who's already awake and goes out and gets breakfast somewhere or makes it. So Raven's trying to return the favor for once.
Yep.
And it's their day off.
Wendy can help you in the kitchen.
Yes. I think Wendy has gotten a lot more outgoing and kind of more willing to just jump in and help with random tasks around the house, and is more like excited to just jump in and be like, yeah, I'll help you with this thing, and grab things out of the fridge or hand things over, or crack eggs into a bowl. They have little raccoon hands. They can do that.
What do you make?
Ooh, Raven's making French toast. I think that's her like go-to lazy morning breakfast. So she's just making a big old stack of it. But yeah, she's trying to be quiet so she doesn't wake up Aiden. Did we have something planned for her this morning?
It's just a morning scene with you doing something sweet for her.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were trying to get me to do a specific thing that I have forgotten about, or if you were just letting me go.
Nope.
Okay.
Just go have fun.
I just wanted to make sure. I think she goes like a little bit overboard and also cuts up some fruit and gets out like whipped cream and is making it like a whole thing with the French toast. Like this is a special occasion that Aiden is sleeping in.
Yeah.
And she gets to surprise her, and she'll put on some nice music quietly and be dancing around while she's doing it. I think she's also at the same time kind of tidying the house a little bit. I don't think their house ever gets that messy, but she's kind of thinking like, oh, Amity's back in town. I don't know if they'll come over. I got to get the house looking present. I don't know who's coming over, where we're doing a party. Like, she's got a lot of stuff going on in her brain. So she's trying to like prepare for that. And I think she also like nervous cleans.
Yeah, but also like you're feeling great. You slept.
Yeah, that's true. She's finally awake for the first time in a while.
You didn't dream. It was just fully knocked out after the tea.
Yeah.
You got like good rest.
The best kind of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's full of energy. And I think that's part of why she's cleaning, of like, I feel great. I don't know if there's too much else she would do until Aiden wakes up.
I was just going to let you wake her up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if she's not awake by the time breakfast is ready, she's going to set it all up and go in and peek in and see if she's still sleeping.
Gotta bring it in on the little tray.
I think she set it up on the kitchen table, like plated it and made it all cute and put whipped cream on it and arranged the fruit around and like she's still not awake, and like just did a little more and made it silly and fancy and made tea, and
a picturesque breakfast awaits, and yet still no signs of stirring from the bedroom.
Yeah, like still asleep. That's weird. It's all right, I'll go wake her up.
You go into your bedroom and she's just like caught in like a morning beam from the window, and like her hair is a mess, but it's like perfectly a mess.
Of course it is. Raven absolutely has a moment where she creaked open the door and looked and saw her like that and just like leaned up against the door frame. Was like, oh, she's so cute. Just like, I'm so sad I have to wake her up. Swoons a little bit. I think she'll make eye contact with Wendy and kind of gesture forward, and Wendy will like run ahead and jump up onto the bed and kind of like not really snuggle with her, but kind of go up to Aiden and like pat her with her paws. Like
Wendy like crawls up onto Aiden and she kind of like shifts a little, like half awake once they like land on the bed, and then they like kind of walk forward and she like blinks her eyes open. Oh, good morning. And she gives Wendy some scritches behind their ears, but also uses that motion to move them gently out of her line of sight. She smiles really brightly when she sees you waiting in the doorway. Hi.
Morning.
How are you feeling?
Good. I slept like a fucking rock last night, and it was awesome. I made breakfast and cleaned the house.
You see her eyebrows raise a little in surprise, but also admiringly. And she scoots Wendy off her, but doesn't get out of bed. Instead, there's just a flash, and she appears in front of you, her arms around your waist, and giving you a kiss. My hero.
Come on, it's gonna get cold. And she'll drag Aiden out to the kitchen.
You guys can sit down, enjoy breakfast. It's delicious. It's amazing.
Good. Raven knows how to cook a mean French toast. The secret is vanilla.
Little nutmeg.
just a sprinkle of nutmeg.
Just a little bit. Yeah, she just like enjoys the breakfast with you, and you guys have the view out the like kitchen window of the town. She eventually sets her like orange juice or whatever down. She says, have you heard from Amity?
Not this morning, no.
Okay, well, she'll be back when she's back. I'm not gonna think about it.
She's probably got a lot to do today.
Were we gonna get together with everyone?
We should be, yeah. I sent a text to the group and let them all know, so hopefully tonight.
Okay. Are we hosting? Is that why you cleaned?
I don't know if we're hosting. I just felt like cleaning, and just in case.
She like rests her face in her hand. She's like, wow, I missed well-rested Raven.
Me too. She's like scrubbed the counters and like done the cleaning that you don't do as your normal kind of cleaning. It's like the real deep cleaning every once in a while. Like she's done that. The house is sparkling.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of seeing friends, there's something I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah?
Do you mind if I go visit Corey later tonight?
Oh, of course not. Why would I mind?
Well, I know she makes being my ex weird sometimes. I just wanted to make sure you'd be comfortable with the two of us hanging out.
Of course. I really don't mind. You two were together a long time ago. She likes teasing you and messing with me. It's kind of her thing, but given how much she's helped us, I'd say things could be worse between us three. Is everything okay, though?
Oh, yeah, things are good. It's just, Vivian says I need to start taking care of me. I'm still trying to figure out what that means, or, well, what it looks like, I guess. But Corey doesn't sleep either, and I thought maybe it might be nice to have someone to hang out with when everyone else I know is asleep.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know I can't argue with Vivian's advice for you.
Well, yeah. Also, I want to try and reconnect with other old friends of mine. Trust me, there's people I'd love to see who aren't my ex, but it's hard knowing what names or human identities they might be living under these days. I don't know how I'd find them on my own, but Corey has her social platform, and I think if I asked, she could help me get back in touch with some of them.
That sounds like a great idea. You'll keep me updated? If you find some of your old friends, I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd love for you to meet them.
I'd love that.
Thanks for trusting me. I'm sorry our lives get kind of weird because of me.
Aiden, you don't have anything to apologize for. Our lives are weird because the world is weird. We're both weird. We're figuring it out together, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I feel the same way.
Do you have anything you need to do today before we meet up with everyone else later?
Not really, but it'd be nice to do something that was just for the two of us.
What do you have in mind?
Well, and she checks the time quickly. You know, they might still have some maple leaves over at the diner. Do you want to go?
Absolutely.
She will get up and like run into the room to change and get like clothes on and stuff. And then you guys can go get donut treats. They're little like, donuts in the shape of a maple leaf that they frost with a maple frosting.
The best kind.
Yeah, they're so good. We have to transition from checking in with everyone in these cute scenes to y'all getting together. How do we want to do this? Mel, do you want a scene with Beatrice and Mira, or do you want to just assume things are okay?
I think we can go with things are okay. I want to establish that Amity gets her phone and realizes she doesn't remember anybody's phone numbers. And Natalie, because we talked about this, I would like to introduce this. I just want everyone to just get a ping in their head.
Mm-hmm.
This girl's basically casting sending and just goes, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Please don't be startled. It's me. It's Amity. I don't have your phone number because I lost my phone. What's your phone number? You can reply to this."
Yep.
"But I would like your phone number, please, because I miss you. Okay, bye."
Does that happen to everyone's heads all at once?
I think so, yeah.
Group chat sending.
Yeah, group chat sending.
We're all going to respond at the same time. Raven and Aiden like lock eyes across from their coffee and donuts like, the fuck, did you hear that?
I was going to say, it takes Amity a while to go purchase a phone, right? So like, I was thinking if you guys get your snack at the diner and then like you could take Ruby for like a walk to like some park in town that has like a little water lake or something, and you're just like sitting on the bench like eating the donuts and like letting Ruby run around with Wendy, and you get this pain in your head. And I think you get a bunch of confused numbers from people, Amity. I mean, what do you all say to this message you get in your mind?
I mean, you get a solid "what the fuck" from Whitaker.
Damien?
You just hear Amity like over the course for like, a minute and a half or whatever while everyone else is giving their numbers. So there's just sort of that background whine.
Well, I don't want to continue to say while everyone gives their numbers, because so far two of you who have responded have not given a number as the response to the message. So let's see what Hugo says to the message.
But Damien does give his number.
No,
we're keeping
sending
that.
rules.
He takes a moment to think, is that Amity? That sounds about right. And then he's used to the rest of this, so he's just going to give his phone number.
Okay. You get a phone number from Hugo. Raven, what do you say?
Do they have to say it out loud, or is it just kind of like responding in your head?
It's just responding in your head, I would think.
Okay, because I think since Raven and Aiden are together, they would be like startled and looked at each other like, did you just hear that? And then I think Raven would kind of point to Aiden like, you go first. And like, whether she says it out loud or not, like, give her a second. And then Raven would be like, hey, and then recite her number.
Yeah.
But try and like space it out so at least the two of them aren't responding at the same time.
Aiden says, we're at the park off of Vernal Street if you want to meet us here. And then she will gesture to you and you can give your number if that's what your response is going to be, Raven.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you get back, Amity. 2 phone numbers, 1 invite to meet up, and 2 less than helpful responses.
Yeah. Oh, she'll definitely go to the park.
Okay. So yeah, Raven, you see soaring through the sky, blue flame trailing behind her staff. Amity comes down and lands a little ways off of you two in the park.
When they see that, I think Raven's going to kind of lean over to Aiden and be like, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to that, huh? That's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely flashy.
And then they'll like run over to see her.
Hey, so she's like still inputting like Damien's number into her phone. I don't have a lot of time. I have to do the magical DMV stuff. But do you have everybody else's phone numbers? Because everybody else was just really confused and they didn't actually give me their phone number.
Yeah, that tracks.
Damien just said my name, which I'm happy that he's happy that I'm back, but that's not what I asked him for. So do you have their other phone numbers so I can text everybody again?
Yeah, I got it. Raven will pull up the group chat that I think Amity's old phone number is still in and just let them add everybody else's number and make a new little chat.
Yeah, and then everybody just gets a text message that just says, "Hi, guys!" And it's got like 400 emojis.
Wait, isn't it a flip phone? Is it just the emoticon emojis?
You can just do like the classics, : close parentheses.
Yeah.
XD, XD, XD. God, y'all remember old-fashioned emoji text?
Yeah.
Back in my day.
It's just like a lot of less than threes and tildes and asterisks for stars.
Every single one she can think of in that
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
Ampersand, underscore, ampersand,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
tilde, little flower like asterisk thing.
Oh, I thought you were the coolest
God.
person in the world if you used those.
I was a big fan of the up arrow, period, up arrow.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one for me.
Throw an ooh-woo in there, I dare you.
Hi, welcome to the Storyteller Squad. We're all millennials.
Amazing.
Aiden will take a picture of Amity and Raven just like in the park and send that to the group chat.
So are we meeting up or what?
Whose house?
I'm gonna humbly request that it's mine. I can't go anywhere today.
It's easier for us to come to you.
Apparently, I have to get a license to do magic. Could I just do that in Portland?
I don't know if it's true that Whitaker could get them one of the licenses that like Aiden has, but I like the idea that he offers.
I don't think you could, Whitaker. I don't know that that would be in like field agent's purview. That's like a completely different branch
I won't
of...
get it legally.
I like that he offers.
That's the correct answer.
Okay, fair. Yeah, you could illegally acquire one as part of like a cover somewhere.
Just get Amity a fake. It's fine.
It would be a good fake too.
Yeah, it would be imperceptible. Because the people that fucking check that is you guys.
That's right.
Yeah, it's probably safe to assume that based on that, the agency has like a licensing department or a...
They're the ones in charge of this shit.
No, they're not.
Fuck off.
And Amity doesn't work there.
But I do.
The agency is for investigating like trouble and danger.
Yeah, the magic bureaucracy is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the department that like Miranda is part of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For normal
Fine.
citizens, just people who want to get a magic license, you wouldn't go to the agency. You would just go to town hall, city hall or something.
That's true. I keep forgetting we are not the entire government, and I have to stop myself every now and then.
Yeah.
I feel like based on the like DMV equivalent, it would probably be better for Amity to go to the Autumn Falls one because it's probably smaller and easier and like faster than going to like the big city one.
Mm-hmm.
It might be faster just going to the hometown one and see if you know the person working at the counter and be like, hey, it's me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's make a fantasy world, guys. It'll be fun, guys.
We're going to the DMV.
Aiden and Raven could go with you and just help you make it go real quick and easy.
Okay, yeah.
You guys go to the Autumn Falls DMV.
They pull their celebrity status.
And at the DMV in Autumn Falls, they have a little like line that says magic registration. There's nobody there. It's Autumn Falls. The people who wanted a license got it a year ago. But the person behind the counter, she like used to be a teacher. So like she recognizes you, Amity. And this is Emma Fwam Jelly, your 4th grade teacher.
Yeah.
Say that name
I
again?
need you to say that one more time.
Emma Fwam Jelly.
Emma Fwam Jelly?
Yup. FWAM Jelly.
I really like that they just designated part of the actual DMV for magic stuff. They're just like, we don't need this department anymore. This is magic now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. She's happy to see you, asks how you're doing. But my question for you is, which mentor do you ask to vouch for you?
Ooh. Do I need just one or two?
Just one for the form, yeah.
Okay, then she'll say Nana Margie.
Okay.
If I have to get in touch with her using magic, am I going to get in trouble? 'Cause I don't know how else to get in touch with her. I don't have her phone number.
Miss Flam Jelly says, that would be fine. You can cast a sending spell.
Okay. I think what the sending looks like is it more specifically involves like a gesture with her staff, and there's wind kicking up around like her hair, and she sort of thinks of her message, and when she's done, she taps the cane on the ground. Her hair drops, the magic seems to stop, and she just kind of waits. And Nana Margie gets a message. Hey, so I didn't know that I needed a magical license to practice magic back in the human realm. So could you vouch for me? How are you doing, by the way? How's Blueberry?
A window in space opens. When I say a window, I don't mean like a Doctor Strange glowy portal or
No, like a literal window.
like space just kind of like shuttered window things opens up and you see the view of everything just folding as if it were part of a little cottage. And suddenly Nana Margie sticks her head out into the room. You want me to what?
She just points at Mrs. Fwam Jelly.
Yep. Oh, right. Sorry, I should have set you up with that. Blueberry! Wah! The little wood duck with the blue feet lands on the windowsill. Nana Margie points with her thumb. Blueberry looks out the little space and gives a little head nod. And then Nana Margie goes and plucks a quill out of Blueberry. And is let me see the form, kid. Give it here.
She passes it to her.
And without doing any other magic, she kind of just wets the tip of it with her finger, and then it starts to write in blue ink, signs it. Marjorie does a little doodle of a blueberry and a duck at the end of it, sticks the quill back in Blueberry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so she hands you the form back. There you go. That'll take care of it.
Thanks, Blueberry. Thanks, Nana Margie. You guys are the best.
She gives one glance over at Raven and Aiden.
Raven waves.
Yeah, the slightest eyebrow raise. And she says, "Hey there, First Light. Good kid you got. I'll see you around." And slams the window shut and space returns to normal.
She'll hand the form back over to Mrs. Fwamji and then turn to Raven and be like, "Oh, I should have introduced you. I'm sorry. But that was Nana Margie."
Yeah, it certainly was.
And Blueberry. They seem great.
They're awesome.
You can hand over the paperwork, and she says, "Okay, stand over there." It's just a little spot where you get your picture taken.
Oh my god, yes. So she'll scoot on over and stand on the little X in front of the freaking blue backdrop or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Photo is taken. He prints out a paper
Awful.
version.
This is my nightmare.
But it's a paper version of the license, which will be sent in the mail to your house in a few days. And it says, "License to practice magic per the mentorship under Nana Margie, Amity Sternberg."
So grab the paper, fold it up, tuck it in her bag. "Thank you so much. Okay, let's go." As she turns to Raven and Aiden and is like, "Let's get out of here."
Raven will wave goodbye to the clerk because she probably also knows her from elementary school.
Also your 4th grade teacher, yep.
Yep.
"I saw you on the news. So proud of what you're doing, Raven."
Thank you so much. As she's leaving.
Yeah.
She's had to deal with this so many times.
Yep.
Bye, Mrs. Fwamji.
Yeah, everybody in Autumn Falls is so proud of what Raven's doing.
Oh, yeah. She's so used to it. Backing out of conversation.
Dahlia and George being like, "Hey, the celebrities are here for their morning donuts."
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's jump back to the boys if you guys want to do food planning or a scene about that, since Whitaker is hosting.
Guess who's already at Whitaker's?
Oh, thanks, man. Love that you can tell when I'm not in the mood to get groceries.
Yeah, but you're always not in the mood to get groceries, so...
I mean, yeah, fair enough, but...
I always forget that your place is so nice.
Thanks, despite these two's best efforts to wreck it. Well, Prithee isn't there, but he's gesturing to their 2 rooms. Where's Hugo living now? Is he also living in Portland?
Yes.
Gotcha, so this was not a trek for him.
Yeah, Hugo just lives in one of the apartment complexes. And in fact, as you're leaving your apartment that morning, Hugo, you pass by down the mail room. One of your neighbors, a young goblin woman with blonde hair and little braided pigtails.
"Morning, Hugo. How's it going?
Morning, Trixie. Good to see you.
See you around."
Let's just drop that little nugget in. Listeners, you will not believe the disrespect I am being served on this Zoom call right now. We can't have Hugo have an apartment and not be neighbors with an important character.
Yeah!
It's the way it works. This is what we do.
No, I love that. I think that's super funny.
That's my other of your favorite qualities, Hugo. You keep running into important NPCs.
So, what's the plan? What are we making?
So Damien begins chopping vegetables and things and putting it in the slow cooker because we're going to need to serve a lot of people and we've got time.
Yeah, we doing a stew? We doing a nice big stew, big soup?
Yeah, a nice big soup. So Hugo, mission last night I think was a great success. What level of agency help do you want?
Sorry, mission last night? Is that why you got in so late?
Hugo was lonely, so I felt like driving over and hanging out and seeing my friend.
Oh, you two, is there like...
Oh, gross. Humans are gross. Don't...
Damien, I hate to break it to you.
You're a person who ships people with other people too? Yeah, I had my suspicions.
Listen, buddy, you're talking with no small amount of covert language. I can only assume so many things.
Yeah, there are lots of varieties in humans, and I am not that type.
Fair enough, but come on.
Yeah, friends can't go to each other's houses at 2 a.m. as just friends. I got it.
That's on you, Whitaker. You're projecting, man.
All the times I've gone to a friend's house at 2 a.m., it's been for one very specific thing.
You know what? Proud of you.
Yeah, nice.
Not recently.
No, but in all seriousness, Hugo, King O is agency turf, so you can keep things as separate as you want to an extent.
If it's agency turf, that's on you. That's not on me.
Listen, neither of us are on the clock right now. We don't have to discuss this as an agency matter. Whatever it is we're discussing. I am in the room. You guys can talk all you want, but I am listening, and I am curious about what is going on here.
We went out for a late night walk. We found ourselves in a particular area of town. We happened to see some people making some exchanges of sorts. You will never guess who's in town.
Who?
Aaron Pike.
Aaron Pike? This feels a little inland for him.
I mean, we were at the docks, so he was still doing his boat adventuring thing. I don't know what his travel plans were before or after he met with O at the docks, but I am curious, and I feel like boats they're not as well regulated as airplanes, so we can't just go on the internet and track them.
Look, Damien, if you want to get the agency involved with that stuff, by all means.
I mean, I sort of assumed that you'd want to go to the agency because I figured you'd want to get their help. I don't quite get why you have your own solo thing. I don't see why we all can't just unite, but I mean, I'm happy to help in whatever context is appropriate.
Whitaker, investigate a mystery.
Whitaker will investigate a mystery, but I think he's also at a point with Hugo where if Hugo doesn't want Whitaker to know something, Whitaker now has the level of trust in him where it's like, all right, hands off.
Mm-hmm.
Whitaker is more concerned with Damien going out and doing something stupid than Hugo going out and doing something stupid.
Yeah, me too.
Makes sense.
Investigate a mystery. It's a 7. It's a mixed.
A single question.
What's being concealed here?
Hugo has been clearly doing more than community center business. That is just very clear to Whitaker, not just from this conversation, but this conversation on the heels of Hugo showing up kitted out and not rusty at all. In some ways stronger than you remember him. And so I think as his friend, what you are maybe piecing together is that Hugo has been keeping busy, and the fact that Hugo has been busy means that there are things going on in the city that probably the agency should be handling but isn't.
Can I add?
Please.
It's also on the heels of him having called Whitaker saying that he needs help.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's true. As Whitaker's leaving a pan of something to simmer on the stove, he comes back around, sort of just rests his elbows on the table, looks over at Hugo. Hugo, I'm not talking as Agent Whitaker here, I'm talking as Lonnie. How are you doing?
Honestly, I've had better days. For one, I'm probably not getting nearly as much sleep as I need to. I've been staying physically active.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, possibly too physically active.
Tell me more.
You know how you have your rogue team?
Painfully aware.
Let's just say I've been doing a little rogue teamwork of my own, and things have gotten complicated.
I'm gonna assume they are complicated enough that you cannot explain every layer of this to me. I suppose the better question is, cycling back to my first one, what can I do for you right now? Not right now, Whitaker says, sort of gesturing with his cane, but like, in general.
I might be tackling some things that a person should not try to deal with on their own, and I might need some backup at some point. Possibly off the record backup. No offense, the agency hasn't been the most useful in some of these situations.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Hey, I'm still sorry about the thing at the community center the other day.
Yeah, me too.
You don't gotta apologize. It's the agency that's slipping. There's too much going on in the city that they're just not keeping pace with all the trouble that's popping up.
I'm trying to keep my people out of that sort of trouble. They could take things with a much harder stance, and I'm lucky they have trusted me so far to be this patient. But when agents show up on our doorstep without a good reason, I guess I don't have confidence in the agency's ability to navigate how fast the world is changing. It understands far less than they think they do, especially when it comes to how the magical world really works. No offense.
Ooh. Whitaker's face tightens a bit as he, swallows that. It's a good piece of perspective. I feel like you probably have a better view on this than most. What do you think needs to happen?
Well, that's the problem, Whitaker. I don't. I don't know what needs to happen. All I know is it will need to be something else, either with our input or without it. I'm trying to navigate things in my area with grace and olive branches, but I'm just one person and, frankly, getting less hydrated than a raisin in the sun with each passing day.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean things can't improve. Believe me, I want them to improve, especially given I'm fighting 3 different battles right now. The only thing I can guarantee is that they will change, and we may not like the outcome.
So, Hugo, are you cool with me sharing what I found out about King O and his dealings with the agency? Like, let them know he was trading with Pike. That way we can look him up and figure out what sort of stuff he was up to. Maybe surveillance of the area, figure out what was handed off.
If you can get that on their radar, absolutely.
Cool.
Do we know that Pike was working for King O during the Willituck sequence, or was that all meta knowledge?
Very specifically, only Pike's first mate was working for King O during the Willituck arc.
Gotcha.
The fact that now King O has employed the person he previously employed someone to betray is perhaps a sign of his ability to meet people's price, or just keep enough secrets that Pike is like, oh yeah, he approached me with a generous sponsorship. I don't know who this guy is.
We at least have pre-existing evidence that King O has worked with Pike's team. That might be all we need to convince someone to investigate Pike now.
If anything, getting the agency to have a bit more of an eye on King O as well might not be the worst thing.
Yeah, my worry is the last time I tried to get a better eye on King O, Olivia fucking switched me off the job.
Yeah, we've really got to figure out whether she's a good guy trying to keep us safe around this dangerous figure, or whether she's just in King O's pocket.
Damien was present when she had a conversation with King O over the phone, right? But we couldn't, use that as evidence at the time because Damien was under suspicion.
And also because it wasn't exactly clear what the relationship between the two was.
But there was a general, hey, keep your agents out of my way. So, bit of a hint of impropriety there, you know.
Yup.
We've also had scenes where I have depicted her at dinner with King O, like discussing things, and it being a very like tense, like back and forth, like
Yes.
sometimes he has the upper hand, sometimes she has the upper hand. Like it's a very like neither one of them is fully in the other's pocket, at least from what we've seen so far.
Oh, baby, there's a dynamic there, but Whittaker hates King O, and he hates Olivia, so as far as he's concerned, they're chummy.
Mm-hmm.
The enemies of my enemies are all my enemies. And I assume that in the past 2 years, there hasn't been any other, like, significant evidence to link them.
No, I mean, it's been very important for Olivia to present the most airtight version of herself and the agency in the last 2 years than ever before. Because now it's not, this is the agency and we cover stuff up and we make stuff disappear. It's, we're the agency and we are now publicly, constantly on critique. Every action we take is being judged and dissected and analyzed by the media and the public. And while all that is happening, we still have to ostensibly be the people who show up and stop monsters from harming normal people and magical people. You know, the agency is not only fighting for humans, there are folk citizens who have benefited from the agency showing up to stop monsters as well. And so, like, the version of herself that Olivia has been embodying in the last few years has either been non-existent or crystal perfect. So no, there has not been a lot that you've been able to ascertain as far as, like, solid evidence.
Yeah.
Hugo, do you want to talk to Whittaker about Fowler, since that was the thing you originally were going to ask him for help with?
Was just about to. You remember Drake Fowler?
Drake Fowler, he's the, Fae guy, right? He's got all these little nymphs and whatnot.
Suffice to say, he's been a problem for the community, and I have been helping Kabe retrieve some things.
Does Drake Fowler need to start sleeping with the fishies?
Doesn't need to be sleeping with the fishes. If anything, trying to do that is going to cause so many more problems that, frankly, I am not ready to deal with right now.
Kabe, you two still talking?
Well, yeah, I hesitate to say that he's gotten better.
Man like that stays the same for eternity. I don't know, yeah.
He still has no concept of using doors, so...
He didn't throw me through any doors, so, like, that's an improvement.
That's a win.
For context, whether or not Kabe has gotten better or not is debatable. Your relationship with Kabe has certainly improved, Hugo. Very specifically, the, like, arrangement between the two of you is technically better for you because you have gotten all your memories back in exchange for this contract work.
Internship.
Yeah, internship. Basically, you are paying off a loan instead of making debit card transactions, I guess, is the way to describe it. Which, I'm curious, as a keeper, like, do you want to explain, maybe in character, why Hugo made that new contract deal? Like, what the motivation was behind it? Because I have thoughts about what I suspect was the reason, but also we kind of just established that like a session or two back. So I'm curious if you thought about that at all and what Hugo's reasonings for making that new deal was.
I've been taking some lessons from Anya in deal making, and I realized that sometimes existing deals need to be renegotiated. I also realized that a part of me has not been myself without fully having all of myself there, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. Hugo, that's why I was worried about you so much.
I got better.
I know you did. And I'm glad you did, and I'm glad things are renegotiated. It worries me that you still make deals with him, but I mean, if you've got Anya advising you, then that puts a little bit of my mind at ease.
No, she doesn't actually know.
Okay, we're gonna have to be really clear on the things I can say when I talk to your princess and things I can't say when I talk to your princess. I think the can't say list is a little bit longer than I initially thought.
Hey, some things are just for the boys, you know?
Are you still giving memories to Kabe, or is it some new arrangement that you have?
It's more retrieval and intervention. Fowler's taking advantage of people. We're making sure that doesn't happen.
What's the situation? Is he attacking people, moving it on turf? I kind of thought his thing was a little more localized. Is he trying to expand territory a bit?
It is localized, but that's my community. That's my local.
What's he doing exactly?
He's just making people make really, really poor decisions and bad deals that are not in their best interest. Last time I intervened, he had some extra security measures in place, and things got a little rough, and I'm realizing that I probably shouldn't try to handle this by myself anymore.
Gotcha. I think that is something you could get some agency help on, especially if there is like a physical break-in to call in.
Yeah, but then we have to follow rules and do paperwork and fill out reports. I think if we do it the Hugo style, we can skip all of that bureaucracy.
That was me, speaking as Agent Whitaker. Speaking as Lonnie, if you need me, Hugo, all you gotta do is call.
Yeah, we got your back, whatever that means.
I will keep that in mind, but for now, what I really need is for you guys to continue chopping these vegetables, because if that thing is not done by the time people get here, we are screwed.
Shit, sorry, hand me that sherry bottle, I gotta deglaze this.
Speaking of fey dealing, how's your princess doing these days?
She's... Anya is Anya. She's wonderful. Actually, do you mind if she joined us?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay. And Hugo's going to take out his phone, call Anya, and hand the phone over to Whitaker. It's technically your place. You should do the invite. She'll appreciate the propriety.
Shit, well, alright, hang on.
Hello? Hugo?
It's not Hugo, though he's right over here. It's Lonnie.
Oh, hello, Lonnie. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Having a bit of a get-together tonight. One of our friends who's been on a 2-year away trip just came back and would love to know if you could join us.
Is he cooking or are his hands full?
We're all cooking, and yes, his hands are very full. I promise you he's doing most of the cooking now. Smells great in here.
Then I wouldn't miss it.
Sounds good. 6 o'clock, you can show up early if you like.
All right.
Great, I'll see you there. Hangs up.
God, that girl's just about as charming as can be, Hugo. I swear, if I was a straight man...
I'm lucky that you're not.
Oh my god.
Hugo, I get coffee from your girlfriend, I hope you know. And I feel very embarrassed every time asking royalty to make me coffee, but she's so excited about it that I really can't help myself.
What's that saying for queen and coffee?
Hugo, I hope you know I tip $10 every time she's on the bar.
Huh. Good on you.
She sure is.
Thank you, Emery.
Yep.
Oh no. A text comes through from Amity. Can I bring Mira?
Please do, my other favorite fae. Any other 2 a.m. tuna snack secrets you want to let me in on?
Jesus Christ. Now it's in the show.
It's in the show. It's in the character voice.
It's real. Oh,
we can't get rid of it now. It's in the voice.
No, I can't even cut
It's definitely something Prithee coined in this universe.
Oh, 100% yes.
Like, let's be real, that's a Prithee thing, is 2 a.m. tuna snacks.
Yeah, it's fully a Prithee side of Natalie showing up. Hi, adventurers. 2 a.m. tuna snack time is a bit that we do now because I don't go to bed when I should, and sometimes I need a snack. And sometimes it's tuna.
It's a terrible habit, and we shouldn't romanticize it, and yet here we are.
And yet here we are, celebrating it in our media and content.
It is celebrating the fact that you are feeding yourself, even if you are not getting proper sleep.
That's right.
It's looking on the bright side.
Please sleep at appropriate hours, have a snack, and go to bed on time. Do it for yourself.
The goal of this podcast is to become so successful at telling stories that I never have to eat tuna at 2 a.m. again.
You could have a 2 p.m. tuna snack.
Yeah, we're going for 2 p.m. tuna snack.
At 500 patrons, we will have 2 p.m. tuna snack.
Okay, well, now that my dirty sleep habits are out in the open.
Hi, adventurers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Storyteller Squad. Hopefully, you're all engaging in some reasonable snacking times and aren't listening to this at 2 a.m. If you are, well, I can't stop you, but I can give you a disappointed mom stare. Do you feel it? This is my disappointed look. Take better care of yourselves, please. All said with love, I promise. Anyway, we have a few announcements to get through, so stick around for a minute and we'll have you back to the episode in no time. Our promo swap this week is with another friend who's kicked off a shiny new season, $2 Creature Feature. Let's give their promo a listen.
In a world without magic, a world much like our own, danger still creeps around every corner. But where there's danger, there's always someone willing to take up the risk.
And opens her mouth wide.
God, is there anybody normal in this city at all?
Well, you know me, boys. I do love an apocalyptic event.
Since 2020, $2 Creature Feature has delivered a high-quality Monster of the Week podcast in association with Althaven TTRPG Network. In Season 1, we traveled with Severus Vardy's Traveling Fun Fair. In Season 2, we solved the mystery of what lurks at the heart of Jupiter Hollow. Now, a new team must stand up to the threats that are out of this world. $2 Creature Feature proudly presents Season 3, Atlas.
You can catch the newest season of $2 Creature Feature wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to check them out on Twitter and Instagram at $2 Creature. That's number 2, dollar the word, and creature. Speaking of socials, if you like our show, consider following us on social media as well. It's one of the best ways to keep up with episode announcements and help spread the word about the show to your friends. We're at Story Squad Cast on most platforms. Except for YouTube. We're simply the Storyteller Squad. Now, why do I bring up YouTube, you might ask? Well, we recently synced our podcast feed to YouTube. Hi, YouTube community. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you like it here. If you're looking to connect with the cast and other fans of the show a little more regularly, join our community Discord. The link is in the show notes. And if you want to show us a little extra love, consider leaving us a rating or review on your preferred podcast platform. It's another way to give us a boost in the algorithm and get our show seen by potential new listeners. Lastly, if you want to support the show monetarily, subscribe to our Patreon. You'll get access to an exclusive section of our Discord and get to see bonus and behind-the-scenes content, like our new end-of-arc talk show, Good Morning Autumn Falls. You can find our page at patreon.com/thestorytellersquad. That's all for now. Now let's get you back into the episode. Bye-bye.
The evening arrives. At some point, Aiden takes Raven and Amity and Mira's hands.
There's a lot of us. We're standing in a circle holding hands.
Yep. You stand in a circle. Whisper leaps up on Amity's shoulder. Windy leaps up on Raven's shoulder. And in a gold flash, you appear outside of Whitaker's building.
Raven's got some grocery bags, like hooked on one arm. She's brought some like snacks and hors d'oeuvres.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party.
Yeah. Aiden went back to the Maple Leaf and asked Dahlia if they could make a special set of the donuts for Damien and people in Portland to share and stuff.
Well, Amity was gonna bring dessert, but Aiden beat her to it.
We're all somehow holding hands for the teleportation, but also all carrying a bunch of stuff.
You get up to the apartment. Even before you make it to into the apartment itself, the smell of the delicious soup and the other meal options. Damien, were you cooking anything besides soup with people or?
Nope.
Okay.
All soup.
Big bowl of soup.
No, because now I gotta pair it with something.
I knew it. I fucking knew he couldn't resist.
You're gonna make me come up with an appropriate side.
Can we bring you some crusty bread?
All right, the hors d'oeuvres is bruschetta because that is hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, but also the bread crunch. So it fits the soup vibes.
Nice.
All these lovely smells of homemade bread and soup wafts down the hallway, and you all open the door. Hugo is there chatting with Anya. They both have a glass of something, and Mira spit takes from her water bottle.
Oh,
Oh, shit!
Probably should have warned Mira, huh?
Does Amity know who Anya is? Like, I know she knows, like, of the courts, but does she know what Anya looks like and, like, knows that she's a princess?
I don't think you know what she looks like.
Okay.
So just seeing her, you wouldn't quite know. Mira just pulls you aside for a second in the hallway, Amity, and she says, "That's the princess of the summer courts."
What? And she pokes her head back in the doorway. It's very comical. She, like, pokes her head in the door and then pokes her head back out and pokes her head in the door and pokes her head back out. Like, the princess.
Yeah, there's only the two.
Oh, okay. Wait, the princess's name is Anya, right?
Yes?
Hugo's girlfriend is a princess?
Raven, do you and Aiden just walk in?
Oh, yeah. Raven's gone in and like hugged both of them and is kissing Anya on the cheek and like just mingling. Like they've met before. It's just like, oh, it's so good to see you. How's work been? Yeah, like just totally normal socializing, putting the food they brought away, like so chill and normal.
Yeah, Anya to Raven is just like, "It's so good to see you again, Raven. And first light, an honor as always." And then Aiden has to be like, "No, Anya, please, just call me Aiden."
I love that people do that to Anya and she doesn't like it, but she'll do it to Aiden by accident. So cute.
Yep.
Raven's used to it. I feel like that's how she always greets them. She's too sweet to be like weird about.
Amity's just standing in the doorway / threshold, completely dumbfounded. Like she has officially walked herself inside and she's just slack-jawed, like just blinking. Like, oh my God.
I feel like Damien has a lot of things to put down. Amity's here. Quickly take out the apron and get this and put that down in like 1 second. 1 sec.
As Damien's taking his sweet time, there's like the soft clatter of an aluminum walking cane falling to the ground.
Oh.
Whitaker runs over, or speed walks over, and just gives Amity just a big fucking hug.
That totally breaks her out of her stare. She just like turns into him and gives him like the biggest hug and oh, it's really good to see you. I'm sorry, I got really distracted.
Distracted for 2 years. Curfew was 18 months ago.
No, that's a completely different thing. I got distracted because Hugo is dating a princess, the princess of the summer court.
I know, right? I mean, listen, I never doubted he could pull a bad bitch like that, but like, to see it in action's pretty cool.
No, but Whitaker, like, she's like a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I know she's a princess. You don't have to explain this to me. I'm British. I know what the royal family's like.
No, but this is so much bigger than that, Whitaker.
Oh my God. Oh, I have missed these two.
Can you imagine if Princess Di walked into my home? I've been cleaning all day.
You've been doing surface cleaning. I've been bending over and scrubbing. Damien will hand the cane over to Whitaker and go in for a hug with Amity.
Yeah, Amity's like, Damien, look at you! And she's like squishing your face. Like, you're actually human!
I know, I'm a real boy now!
Long time no see, traveler. How you been?
You're dating a princess!
You're dating a satyr. Your mom's an angel. Your best friend is a celebrity.
Anya looks at you, Hugo, then looks to Amity and steps forward and says, "Miss Darnbrook, I've heard a lot about you. My name's Anya. It's nice to meet you."
She has definitely been instructed by Mira previously to like bow before royalty. So she immediately just like attempts a curtsy and she's like, "It's really nice to meet you. I'm sorry for yelling."
Mira is, you like blinked and missed it, but she's suddenly like standing next to Anya holding a tiny plate with a bruschetta on it. And she's just like, "Have you had any refreshment yet, Your Highness?" And Anya just kind of like laughs. She like does the thing where she like covers her mouth and then like hand gestures away. She's like, "Oh, please, that's not necessary at all. I'm not here as the princess of the summer court. I'm just here as Hugo's girlfriend."
Amity's just very cartoonish, eyeballs just darting back and forth between the two of them, just processing. The gears are turning and whirring at high speed.
You were in the realms for quite some time, weren't you?
Yeah. By accident.
Time can be funny there for humans.
Definitely. My mom was not happy.
Time's funny for humans, but does Mira have any excuse?
I'm easily distracted.
And that's it. That's the explanation.
It tracks. It absolutely tracks.
That just feels right? Like, I know that establishes a lore thing, but it just feels right that, like, it was just Mira being easily distracted.
That just feels correct.
That's pretty good.
Incredible.
There's nothing else. That's it.
Yeah, Mira's just that level of
Faye.
a mess. Yeah, a messy Faye.
Oops, 2 years. Oopsies. Blinked and I missed it.
Once she gets over her initial shock, Amity will go over and hug Hugo.
And he returns the hug thoroughly.
I'm really happy to see you guys, though. I'm sorry I was gone for so long. And she just looks very awkward. I promise it wasn't intentional.
We're just glad you're back.
You were busy there too, right? I mean, your magic's way more under control than it was.
Yeah, I met a few friends and they've been helping me out, and I've gotten a lot better at things.
Prove it. Sorry, I just want to see a trick.
Hold on, let me put the glassware away first.
Oh, I've got that. I can help you. And then the glasses start floating and just like neatly tucking themselves away onto the shelf.
That's pretty good.
That's new.
Some things really do change.
You didn't even use runes or anything.
Oh.
A tense silence fills the room.
Oh, well, Amity doesn't know.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
she has no idea.
That's right.
She just goes, nope, I don't need them for, well, a lot of things. It depends on what I want to do, honestly.
That's super cool.
Word got around that you were working with some of our greatest mages.
Yeah. I mean, there's Nana Margie, Gilly, Merlin, and Morgan.
Like capital M Merlin, capital M Morgan.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yo, you serious?
Why would I joke about something like that?
Fucking Merlin from Legend is your Fae homie.
Yeah, they're really nice.
All right.
That's good, at least.
They're great.
Anya whispers to Hugo, quite literally, it's in their title, Merlin the Great.
Huh. Well, the more you know.
Hugo, this is perfect. You were looking for instructors for the community center, and Amity's being taught by literally the greatest teachers. Oh wait, does this sound like I'm trying to get out of something? Hugo, I will totally help you, but this, clearly outclassed.
It sounds a little bit like you're trying to get out of something.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Well, Amity, forever looking for a job.
Actually, I am. I don't have any money. I had to borrow my mom's card to get a phone.
We don't have a lot of funding, but we can figure something out.
I'll take anything.
That doesn't get you off the hook, Damien.
Yo, Amity teaching magic at the community center.
That's character growth right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sweet.
You do have your license, though, right?
I just got it today. And she pulls out like the piece of paper to show him. It was such a hassle getting it too.
Hassle, you got that within 12 hours of re-entering this dimension. That's a record, in my opinion.
Well, when you have Nana Margie sign off for you, I guess it goes quicker. I don't know.
The Autumn Falls office is not very busy.
Also, that Nana Margie person is clearly, she knows her stuff.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
She did just pop out of a window of existence to sign and then disappeared again. It was really cool.
Yeah, she's gotta teach me how to do that one.
You have Merlin and the Morgan as professional referrals, and Nana Margie was the one who signed off.
Well, Merlin only likes to be spoken to during certain hours of the day, and the Morgan is kind of hard to reach.
Same Morgan as Whitaker points over at Raven. Same one?
Probably?
I would assume so. Don't think there's multiple.
Small world.
I think Aiden will, she's been quietly, filling the bowls of soup while you've all been, visiting in, the foyer of the apartment. And so she will, ding, 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 ding. And she says, why don't we all sit down and have dinner together? Welcome back, Amity. And you guys can have a lovely little reunion. Amity can fill you guys in on some of her adventures. They are wild and fanciful. And you want to just summarize or give some more adjectives there, Mel? Or does Amity talk about everything? Is it a full spilling, or is it she cherry picks, the more palatable for dinner topics?
I think she cherry picks a little bit. She's dealt with enough shock within the last 24 to 36 hours of people being like, oh my God, you're back. And oh my God, where have you been? And I think she's feeling a little somewhat reserved just because it's been not only a shock to her system, but a shock to everybody around her that she's back.
It is sort of that thing of like, you haven't seen your friends in a while and they've all changed.
Yeah.
Pretty significantly, you know, like Whitaker's got a cane for some reason. Damien's human. Like Raven and Aiden are clearly way more comfortable, like in their relationship together. Hugo is in a relationship.
Hugo's dating a princess. What the? Like, that's another reason why she's probably more reserved too, is that she's like, I have to behave myself in front of royalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but you guys get some fun stories. You can fill Amity in on like changes in the world, the fact that like most of you work at the agency together, that sort of thing.
Philosophical question for Mira and Anya.
Oh.
Am I allowed to go to the Havens, or is that still no go because of the formerly being a demon thing? Because before it was frowned upon, Damien, you're a demon, you can't come in, but now I'm thinking it's okay.
Interesting. I think Mira stuffs a dinner roll in her mouth because she's not going to talk over the princess. But Anya, I think she says, things are a little tense right now between some of the folk and, well, allowing humans to come and go from the Havens. But there is no law to set precedent for what it is that you are, Damien. So I would think it would be fine. Let's just say I'm not going to ask my mother for permission first, but I can ask for forgiveness on your behalf if it should come to that.
That's a good deal. I mean, that's a good backup plan. No, Whitaker's not throwing the D word around the table.
Well, let's set a day to actually do that then.
And I promise to be on my best behavior.
Well, we would all have to go just supervise to make sure, right?
I mean, I wouldn't want you to get lost, so I'm definitely going with you.
Anya, is there any magic that the folk know of that could offset the time trouble that Amity had? And Anya says, if you all were going to go, you definitely would not want to allow time to flitter by. You have your lives to get back to here. But yes, I'm sure there must be some way to do it. She looks to you, Amity, and she says, maybe you could ask one of your teachers.
Yeah, no, I'll contact them soon. But I have to get settled here first, so it might be a little while. She kind of just like gives Damien like a little like, sorry kind of shrug.
Of course, you should get a chance to enjoy what the world has become outside the Havens.
A lot has changed.
I personally find it wondrous.
Yeah, I'm in no rush. It's just nice to know that it's an option now.
Whitaker will actually send a picture of like the soup to Prithee. Like, if you get back home in time, I might be able to save you a bowl.
You send the text, and then you get a text back that says, cause a distraction. And you hear like footsteps in the hallway, like approaching the apartment.
Amity, do you want to show us some of the magic you've learned?
Oh my god.
He's sweating as he says this.
Such a good distraction idea.
Raven not knowing it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, oh yeah, who wants dessert?
You can move into the living room area of the apartment at this point if dinner is like wrapping up.
That's good, yeah.
Hugo is going to be washing dishes.
Oh, thanks, Hugo.
No, you don't. No, stop. You go to the living room. This is my house.
Distraction intensifies.
If Whitaker asks her, like, oh, do you want to show us some of your magic? And the other boys start arguing over doing dishes, and she gets up and she just waves her staff and all the plates start floating over to the sink and the sponges start moving by themselves and scrubbing the dishes and putting them on the dish rack.
Amity, you can stay here if you like.
Happy to help whenever.
That's an Animargy spell for sure.
Everyone's marveling at Amity's work.
Whitaker, you catch as Prithee army crawls on the kitchen floor to their room.
She starts with the dishes and then Whitaker eggs her on, but being like, oh my god, this is great.
Wow, do more.
Yeah. Would she be able to make an illusory duplicate of herself?
Ooh.
Do we think that's feasible, Natalie?
Yeah, I think that's a use magic roll.
11.
You make a perfect copy of yourself.
She does like a little like twirl and her copy does it as well. And then they like high five.
We're absolutely like oohing and awing over it. That's so cool.
Being quite captivated by the magic on display, Whitaker elbows Aiden. You must be proud of her.
I'm just glad she's home.
Yeah, me too.
But also, yes, seems like time in the Havens was really good for her.
Sometimes you just need a bit of time away.
Sometimes you just need time.
Mini fireworks start going off. They're not flammable. They're very much an illusion, but
As that's happening, you hear things happening in Prithy's room while this is going on, Whitaker. And eventually their door is flung open and they are in, what did I say their kigurumi was? Was it like a fox or something?
Was it a red panda?
Or like a dinosaur?
Maybe it was a dinosaur.
Do they really only have one?
That's fair.
they definitely have multiple.
So they kick the door open and they're in like a fennec fox kigurumi, and they have like a bowl of cereal that they poured for themselves in their room.
God fucking
And they're
damn
just
it.
like coming out and like very like nonchalantly like saunter by everyone in like the middle of Amity's thing going on. They go to the fridge, pour some milk, close the door, turn on. Oh, we're having people over. Well, have fun. And then they go back into their room. And you get a text, Whitaker, and it says, I've always wanted to do that. What were the looks on their faces?
Whitaker texts back, you're fired.
Amity says hello to Prithy by sending a little firework. It's almost like it's a heat-seeking fucking firework. It zips and spirals through the room after them, gets right up in their face, pops, and it says, hi, Prithy.
Cute.
Once they're done texting Whitaker, they peek their head out and they say, good to see you, kid. And close the door.
Back to Baldur's Gate. We won't see them again tonight.
There are too many NPCs. I had to come up with a way to...
No, that's so fair.
You're so valid.
So funny, though. Like, come on, tell me Prithy would not just troll royalty by being like, oh, you're in my house.
Whitaker's face bright fucking red, by the way. I'm so sorry, that was my other roommate. They're not usually...
Amity specifically asks, wait, so is everybody dating someone now?
What? No.
Gross.
No, that's just... I'm gonna go do some dishes.
They're done.
Dishes are already done.
All right.
That's dinner.
We'll call dinner scene there. You guys laugh. It's great.
We definitely spent another 2 hours catching each other up on stuff.
Prithy sets up Mario Party or something. You guys can play party games with everybody, and they'll come out and be like, "It's nice to meet you. I'm Prithy Devon." And Anya's like, "Oh, nice to meet you." Anyway, all that happens, and it's the end of the night. Everyone's got to go home. Anything people want in the goodbyes, or where are you going, Amity?
I think she'll start it off with, by the way, I left my hat at your place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can come grab that.
Okay, cool.
You can stay over if you want, unless you have to get back to Angela.
I did tell her I'd probably be gone for most of the weekend. So if it's okay with you guys.
Yeah, stay with us.
We'll stay up in the living room.
Sleepover. Okay, but they'll say their goodbyes, and Amity will go down the line and give the boys their hugs goodbye, starting with Hugo. And then she goes to Damien, and she gives him another double-handed pat on the face and just goes, "You look good, Damien."
Thank you.
And then she's gonna give Whitaker a hug, and she's gonna just whisper in his ear, "You did good, Agent."
Thanks, Starnbrook.
And then it's time to leave.
What do you say to Hugo?
I think she literally just goes, "I can't believe you're dating a princess and you never told me. Oh my God."
She says nice catch to Anya.
Still fangirling.
I think Anya gives you a very warm hug.
Yeah, Amity goes to shake her hand and mustered up the courage to do that, and Anya gives her a hug. She's like, "Oh, okay."
It feels like waking up from a nap in the sun in summertime.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And she says, "Thank you for everything you did 2 years ago. I don't think I'd be here without everything you and your friends did."
I think she has a little bit of a guilty look on her face when she says that. Maybe not guilty, but it's definitely a more reserved look.
Mm-hmm.
I think she just says, it's really thanks to them. I feel bad that I missed out on it.
How loud is she saying that?
Conversationally, I mean, you're next to Anya.
You spent how long on the road with us? You didn't miss out on anything.
I missed out on Damien becoming human.
Let me throw this layer on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anya saying, I don't think I'd be here without everything you did, also technically applies to the fact that Amity is the reason Damien had the spark in the first place.
Oh.
It's a fun perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That little detail.
We can go back to glossing over that little detail. If
we
want.
could just I don't think she has any response to that. She just kind of shrugs. Well, I'll see you guys around. But this was nice.
Come by the community center. You seem like a talented young witch. They could use good people there.
I plan to. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
She will leave. Mira comes up to you, Amity, and she says, wow! Dinner with the princess of the summer court.
Yeah. Are you okay?
I'm gonna be honest, my dear. I need to decompress a little bit. I'm gonna go stay with Beatrice.
I'll see you later.
I love you, my dear. Call me if you need me.
Love you too. Bye.
And she will kiss you on the forehead and then vanishes in a burst of firefly light. So, Aiden, Raven, Amity, you can port back to Autumn Falls. You can walk Anya home, and sleepover energy.
I thought we were going to have to do so many dishes after all those people came over, but Amity's magic took care of everything.
Yeah, I know I had a strict, no magic in the house rule. I'm revoking that now, I suppose. Don't get any ideas.
She will text Angela that she's spending the night at a friend's. She will not name who because it's clear that there's still feelings around Aiden. But she just texts, dinner went late, sleeping over at my friend's. I'll see you tomorrow.
You get a text pretty quickly back that says, glad you had fun. Love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night.
Raven.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Let Raven sleep.
Raven, you are in a warehouse. A metallic figure is fighting with Aiden.
Mm-hmm. God fucking damn it.
They knock her back and she collides with you. You're fighting against this metal creature, but it doesn't look quite right because the top half of the face is just a bunch of lenses.
Oh.
And it has 4 mechanical arms. It grabs you and slams you into the ground. And Aiden flies forward. She's fighting with more of the arms that are now dealing with her. And you watch as one of the mechanical arms and a lens sort of direct their attention over and grab several people with mechanical augments who are then struck with green lightning and thrown at Aiden, and a big explosion goes off. The smoke clears, the construct isn't holding you anymore. It's off fighting with Whitaker or Damien or something. And you see Aiden lying on the ground. One of her wings is fully cracked and bleeding somehow, even though it's made of light.
Ooh.
And she is struggling to get up. As you see in her side now is a bunch of shrapnel similar to what hit you when these events played out slightly differently.
Mm-hmm.
Raven.
Raven will run over to her and just get down on the ground with her and be like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
She's just grabbing at your collar, your hand really tightly. Please. It hurts so much. Help.
Can I try to heal her?
Mm-hmm.
haven't done that in a really long time because it usually doesn't work, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Is it just a use magic roll?
For you, yeah.
Oh, that's a 7.
Okay. You are trying to do your silver magic. It's slowly starting to like pull the shrapnel out. She seems to be stabilizing a little bit. What glitch do you want?
Oh no. The magic draws immediate unwelcome attention.
You hear as you are struggling through Aiden's gasps. Hold her back.
Excuse me?
A hand grabs your shoulder and pulls you from Aiden. Your magic sputters as you are caught unawares from behind. And you are dragged back by your AC jacket.
No, wait, stop. No, Aiden.
Stepping in front of you is one more figure, and one figure which slithers on a not even snake-like, but just long trailing serpent-like lower half with a trail of water left behind and dripping off that figure.
Mm-hmm.
The other figure, their spiked jacket, catches the light of this scene as they step in front of Aiden. And if you look up at the person dragging you back and they eventually put you in a headlock and have your arm held in a hold behind your back, is a half fox mask and a wicked sharp-toothed grin with a red eye.
Oh shit.
Oh, bitch.
And you see Asmodeus step over Aiden as Leviathan, many long tentacled tendrils reach from her chest and just restrain Aiden to the floor. You hear Leviathan's sort of hollow, ragged, drowned laughter. Asmodeus gives you one look. Hey. And then plunges a hand into Aiden's chest and tears her spark out.
Fuck. Raven's gonna struggle as hard as she can.
You fight against Azazel, who has you restrained, and you watch as Aiden's form becomes that wooden, fragile, dusted, almost statue of herself. Asmodeus just swallows the spark, and you hear Azazel whispering in your ear, "Thanks for weakening her for us, half-sister."
Raven's just gonna keep struggling, and she's fighting as hard as she can.
It's too late. She's gone. And now, you're mine.
Fuck you.
Amity.
Yeah? Wait. Oh, fuck. Natalie the Whiplash. Oh. Wow, that was rude.
Have fun, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have the worst sleep of my life.
God.
That delivery.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it's so incredulous because you just made me almost piss my pants with fear. God. Okay. Yeah.
Here, let me help you. Let's palate cleanse.
Yeah.
Amity, you don't sleep that much anymore.
Nope.
At least not as much as you needed to before your 2-year trip. So you kind of wake up again around 3, 4 a.m. What do you do?
I mean, if it's 3, 4 a.m., I think she's just chilling on the couch and looking out the window because she doesn't want to be noisy and wake up her friends who are sleeping. She's just petting her little buddy Whisper.
Wendy pads over and they hand you a little warm cup of an herbal tea they made.
Oh. She will give Wendy behind the ear scritches and just whisper, "Thank you."
They very quietly do the little foot stamp thing. And then they will do a couple leaps over and sit in front of their view of the prairie.
Mm.
And There is a bright flash outside.
Oh, I have to go look. Are you kidding me? What's the light, Natalie? What is that?
Aiden is outside on the deck, and she comes in through the sliding glass door in order to make less noise. She sees you sitting up, and she says, "Oh, hi.
Hi.
I thought you'd be asleep."
I don't sleep as much as I used to.
Huh. Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just visiting Corey.
Oh, like Moth Girl Corey with the mansion in DC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
Aiden goes to hang up her coat and then comes to sit down next to you. I'm trying to maintain some relationships outside of the group we saw tonight. I need some non-human friendships.
I don't understand. What's wrong with humans?
Nothing. It's just that sometimes there are things I want to talk about that would be really hard for humans to understand or relate to, or things I don't want to stress Raven out with.
Stress her out? What do you mean? What's going on?
A familiar, concerned look crosses Aiden's face, and for a minute, you might think she was concerned about how you're reacting, but no, she's actually glancing towards her and Raven's bedroom. Raven's been having nightmares. I'm worried about her.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I'm hoping she'll be better now that we're done with the case we were working. It was a rough one. And the two of you start to hear some quiet but distinctly distressed sounds coming from the bedroom.
I think you hear some thrashing and shifting of blankets and maybe some crying.
Oh no.
Is it another one? Another nightmare?
Aiden will just get up quickly and rushes into the bedroom.
You see that Raven is tossing and turning in her sleep, and it's not small shifts, it's much bigger movements than she normally does. She's like thrashing around and kind of clawing at the blankets. There's some tears streaked across her face that you can see in the light, and she's like mumbling and trying to cry out.
Hey, Raven, wake up. Hey, come on, babe. Wake up. You're okay.
Oh my God, fuck. Oh God.
You're safe. You're okay. I'm right here.
This was the worst one yet.
Aiden will hold you really tightly. She shoots a look at you, Amity, almost asking like, give us a minute.
Amity just nods. Yeah, sure. She's gonna step away from the doorway where she was standing and go to the kitchen for a little bit. I think she feels bad seeing Raven upset, but she also feels a little awkward and doesn't want to go into their room given the situation.
Aiden will kick on her soothe, Raven, to try and help you ground yourself in what's real. She's here. The demon lords are not. Wendy leaps up onto the bed and hops over to be near you two.
Yeah, she'll pull Wendy close and lean into Aiden.
Do you want to talk about it?
No. If I do, I'm just gonna remember it.
Okay. If there's anything you need, I'll get it for you.
I know. Just stay for now.
She will kiss the top of your head and keep hugging you. What are you up to in the kitchen, Amity?
Amity is warming up some water for tea. She's gonna make the same thing she did for Raven the other night and hope that it'll help.
Okay.
And after a few minutes, she'll bring the tea from the kitchen to Raven's room and sort of pause at the door again. Raven? I made you something. Is it okay if I come in?
Yeah, it's fine.
This seemed like it helped yesterday, so hopefully it'll help now.
Thanks. And she'll take the tea and take a sip.
It's good. It feels warm. It's a little sweet. It seems to help a little.
Sorry. I was just really hoping I'd beaten these stupid dreams.
Well, it wouldn't be a sleepover if someone didn't cry and want to go home.
Raven gives Amity a very, half-hearted smile, and she goes, I am home.
Amity, you see clearly now the thing you maybe didn't catch right away, but could still sense had changed about Raven and Aiden in the time you were gone. As they sit here with Windy and Ruby, who has also wandered in and is welcomed up onto the bed, this is a little family unit in a different sort of way than your group of friends are a family.
Yeah. This is really fucking cute. I'm crying. Gross.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine,
It's
you
all
guys.
good. You're awake now. It's all good. Nightmare's over.
Everything's great. Oh my god.
Well, if none of us are going back to sleep, I guess we could put on a movie.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
You grab a movie, you all migrate to the living room, and finish out your sleepover with much better vibes than we started with.
Good.
Oh.
Oh, man.
I love them so much.
Oh my god.
The next couple days go by. You guys eventually go back to work at the agency, and a couple things happen over the next couple days. Raven, you get a call from an old contact of yours, Alice Ward.
Oh, I was wondering if she was going to come back.
She says that she is still studying and doing research of the Willituck Bay monster, which is public information now, and she has the first official paper/thesis on them.
Good for her.
She is staying in the Echo Bay region doing a prolonged not residency. When you're scientifically backed by a bunch of funding, basically.
Oh, a grant. They've given you a grant.
Yes, grant research. Yeah, she's doing grant research of the lake monsters up at Echo Bay. She calls you because she says, I just thought you should know, Aaron Pike reached out to me recently and said he had work to do. I'm fully done dealing with that man, but something about it, I just keep your eyes peeled. That's what you do, right?
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. We'll definitely keep an eye out for him.
You're welcome. Don't credit me. I have enough public attention on myself now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Thank you for the tip.
Good luck.
You too.
Whitaker, at one point, you and the rest of Rogue Team are at the cafeteria at headquarters, and Isenia, the siren barista, comes over to your table, and normally she wouldn't, right? It's not like there are servers here. There's counter service and that's it. But she comes over, she's got her mobility support things, and Brady, the seal, comes over with her, and she says, excuse me, could I'm not sure if this is the right way to do this. I think my friend might be in trouble. Do you think you could meet her if I convince her to come talk to you somewhere?
Certainly. Can you tell me more about what's wrong? Trouble how?
So River is a Selkie, and she's been saying some stuff about her work lately that's kind of got me freaked out. I'm worried she might be in trouble with her boss.
Work matters are a little outside of my wheelhouse, but I can certainly run an investigation.
Well, I heard that Agents Ramos and Ramos were on a detail at the Deep, and that's where River works, so I thought maybe it'd be related.
Oh, as soon as he hears it's at the Deep, he's like, oh, absolutely, I can check in on that immediately. River? Is there a last name there?
River Beckett. I told her if she could meet me after work somewhere that I could maybe bring some people who could help.
All right. When did she say this? How long ago did this start happening?
The other day. I mean, she's been worried and complaining for like a week or two.
Gotcha.
Whitaker, you know that lines up with about the timeline of Aaron Pike coming into town.
Oh, sure.
Your research into like the docks, as Damien suggested at the dinner party, shows that like Pike's new vessel, I'll come up with a name for it later, but like his ship came into Portland Harbor.
Sorry, and just so I'm audio processing all this correctly, she's in trouble with her boss? Or is she like missing?
She is saying things to Isenia that makes Isenia think that maybe she's in trouble.
Gotcha.
Like with her work.
All right. Some employee protections problems at the place run by a mob boss. Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk? Tropes. But yeah, if you guys are amenable, you can meet Isenia somewhere to speak to this friend of hers and get more information.
I would love to.
Okay. Where do you go? Where do you want it to happen?
The same place it always happens. The motherfucking rookery, baby.
Yeah.
Every cool koi meeting happens in that upstairs area. They've got a table reserved specifically for that.
Sure.
At any given point, there's like 3 or 4 different secretive conversations happening on the upstairs of the rookery.
Yeah, great. That's fun. Yeah, so that evening you guys all go out, you grab some dinner, you're waiting around, and eventually a young Selkie woman approaches your table. But this Selkie looks nervous. You guys are 4 government agents, and she is, she's a little nervous to be approaching you. Hi, my name's River. Isenia said you were the folks I'm supposed to talk to?
Yeah, please, sit down. Do you want some water?
That'd be great, actually, yeah. Sorry, my mouth's a little dry.
On it.
I'm Lonnie. This is Raven, Damien, Aiden.
Hi.
Right. I know you two. Points at Raven and Aiden.
And I want to be clear right now, none of this is on the record. Right now, I just want to hear what's going on.
We just want to help.
Well, you might want to open a case, but I don't have any, concrete evidence to give you. But a couple of the girls from work are going missing, and everyone's been getting weird shifts lately. I haven't been given one yet, but I am kind of new, so I'm just nervous. I don't like not knowing where my friends are.
At this point, how many people have gone missing?
Half a dozen.
Jesus. Sorry, that was unprofessional. Understood.
It was just the one, then a couple, and now it seems like somebody goes out and doesn't come back every night.
When you say the girls, are these all Siren and Waterfolk?
Yeah.
When you say goes out, do you mean like out on the floor for work or out somewhere else?
They get escorted by tough-looking guys, and then they don't show up for their next shift.
And that's not usual, getting escorted anywhere?
Not like this.
Do you happen to know any of them live?
Just my one friend, but now that I've noticed the other girls from the place leaving and not coming back, it's sort of, I don't know, I'm just scared for her. I know my boss. He's got a reputation. So I'm scared if I leave, they might come find me and, well, they keep our coats locked up. The person who hired me said it was a security and a safety issue in case anyone tried to get to Mr. King through us so that nobody else can tell us what to do. But now I'm not so sure. I don't want to disappear.
We don't want that to happen to you.
I need this job, but she kind of cracks, and all the stress of this thing going on and not knowing who to talk to is now coming out.
Hey, it's all right.
Raven's gonna hand her a napkin, put a hand on her shoulder.
Yeah, Raven, you're much more of a comforting presence than Whitaker is.
You handle the actual good questions, all and still making sure she's okay.
All right. 6 people going missing is absolutely significant enough to open up a case. You're going to call in sick to your next shift, all right? And we'll set you up at the agency with some level of protection.
All right, yeah.
I would like to get as much information about the upcoming scheduling as we can. If we've figured out that it's a specific shift, then you know which one you should call in sick for, I guess. And if you let us know your schedule ahead of time, we can do our best to keep an eye on you so that Your boss won't be any wiser about you having come to us at all, and we can pretend like everything is normal.
Miss Beckett, would you be comfortable going back into work with a bug and a tracker on you so that we know where you are at all times? I do not want to put responsibility on you, especially if you are worried for your safety.
I'm not scheduled for anything out of the ordinary the next couple days. They've got that big event coming up, but I'm just floor service.
When you say weird shifts, or out of the ordinary, when does this type of thing usually happen?
Generally from around sunset and then into the morning. It's like a graveyard shift.
And you're saying this is happening almost every night now?
Yeah, it's definitely picked up. Thing is, it's a lot of the more experienced girls, so I don't understand. Like, you'd think they'd be wary of it if it was something bad, but generally it's the same person until they go missing, and then someone else gets chosen.
Has anyone said anything about where they're going? Has anyone asked?
We keep pretty tight-lipped at work. Smile, sing for people, make them have a good time. That's the job.
It sounds like you've done a lot of the detective work here with figuring out the people going missing, what they have in common. This is great. I know you're scared, and we will help in whatever contexts work best for you, but you're doing incredible.
Whittaker does roll his eyes at Damien.
Oh, is this sort of
Too happy, too positive.
I think Aiden just kicks your foot under the table.
If Raven catches that, I think she'll jump in after Damien to try and soften what he said.
And like, Aiden's eyes flare because she's got to activate her soothe even more now. So she'll like give you a look, Raven, like, please help me here.
I'm really glad you came to talk to us. We're going to do everything we can to find your friends.
Well, thanks. If I'd better known you two are on the case, I didn't realize I sent you knew the first light.
All right, that's not... She's been an agent for 2 years.
No one cares about the veterans around here.
Fucking 8 years on the job, baby.
Okay. That's the hook. That's what I got.
That's a good hook.
How y'all feeling?
I think we get the names from her. I wasn't going to make you list them all off in case you didn't have them. We get the names of all of her coworkers that she's worried about going missing. We give her our information so she can contact us. And we make a plan to maybe bug her before she goes into her next shift.
Whittaker said you were going to put her under protective custody. Is that still a thing you want to have happen?
That was an offer. She can either take up protective custody if that is her choice, or she can...
She did offer to go to work.
I think she would totally do like sort of a hybrid of the two and be like, yeah, I would love to like stay somewhere safe, but like I can go in for you as long as I'm like in contact with you the whole time, you know, kind of a thing.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a group investigate a mystery rogue team.
It's a 12 for Whittaker.
That's an 8 for Raven.
Okay.
That's not a good face, Durs.
Investigate is sharp, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I get 1 experience. That's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna say this is like really good character rolls here, but that was... Oh, the spread feels...
These feel correct
Feels kind of nice, honestly.
It's pretty good character rolls.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do about this. Yeah, I guess we'll just do the questions.
Where did it go? It's the only one we need.
It being the missing ladies.
Yes, I'm not trying to dehumanize them. They are living, breathing women.
Okay. How do you think you are figuring that out?
I am going to go to the 2 agents who were supposed to be monitoring the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Those stupid twins.
I was going to take information based on the missing people and try to do like a scry spell to like magically determine that.
I will send a spirit to keep eyes on River, make sure they're safe.
Okay. Whittaker first. You go to the Ramos twins. What do you ask him?
We had an employee from the deep coming in saying that other employees are going missing. You guys have been working that detail for weeks now. Do you know anything about that?
Marissa says, there have been groups leaving around sunset each night And recently, fewer of them have been returning.
Any idea where they're going?
Tomas joins in. He says, we've tracked them down to the docks. Then they go out on the water for a while.
Going underwater, I imagine.
Yeah, it's some kind of exploration vessel.
Is it same group every time? What do they look like?
They'll pull some stuff up on their like personal computer desk area, and they show you photos of like groups leaving. Clearly a siren, selkie, or mermaid is like with the group of these people who look kitted out for like a mercenary mission kind of a thing.
Have you done any investigation into the missing employees at this time?
They weren't aware of this like missing employee thing because they weren't tracking it that closely. It was just like, yeah, this is a new thing that's happening in the last couple weeks.
Gotcha.
They're still like prepping to go infiltrate the deep during like the gala.
Nice.
You see like a requisitions order, and it's like signed Phoebe Wickett.
Yeah.
For like outfits for the twins.
Oh man. I think we should probably up the security on this one, if you don't mind. The deep is potentially a crime scene now.
Marissa gives her brother a look, and he stretches. He's like, I'll tell the director.
Let her know it was me.
So, Olivia is informed. She calls together the twins, your team, and you will all get invites to this event through the agency and be able to go snoop around. Raven, you summon a spirit.
My thinking was the next day when River goes into her next shift, Raven would send the seal spirit or another one of the aquatic ones to kind of go out in the water and keep an eye out.
Okay.
Just somehow be eyes on River to make sure that they are safe. Doesn't the deep have like huge fish tanks?
Yes.
I was thinking be in the fish tanks keeping an eye on stuff.
Then you would probably want to send a fish spirit because there aren't seals in the tanks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do I have like a fish spirit or someone?
You have your octopus spirit that you summoned at the beginning of the season.
That's true. I might also have like a manta ray, but I don't know if that one's too...
I think there's like a ray and an eel spirit. There's plenty of aquatic spirits that you could summon and send in.
I think I like eel. Like, I feel like eels fit in with an aquarium. No one's going to bat an eye of like, oh, do we have an extra eel? Like, no one's going to notice. They can kind of slink around and just keep an eye out. And if something were to happen to River where they suddenly get like escorted away, the spirit would come back to Raven immediately. Okay, so you summon the satiety card, the eel spirit. And wherever you're dropping them off, they poke their little head out of the water and say, "Oi there, something you need me to do then, eh? Infiltration mission." Yeah, think you're up for it?
Course, yeah. No worries, mate.
Sorry it's in a tank.
Oh, not a problem, bro. I'll just slip in and out. They'll never spot me.
Raven will show them like a picture of River so the eel knows who they're keeping an eye on.
Roger that then. And don't you fret. I'll be real careful, eh?
Thank you for this.
We give a little like splish splash with their tail. They're able to keep an eye on her.
Sure. It was just a little extra protection, basically.
Yeah. Just imagining like a little eel with like a headset. Humming the Mission Impossible theme as he wriggles through the pipe system to get into the fucking tank.
I don't know where he got the headset. I didn't give it to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just his.
A little kiwi eel. Damien, your scrying spell. Who are you casting it on?
He will do his best to scry on the missing employees.
Okay. I don't want this to be the thing that fails about your spell, but if you try to scry on any of the employees that have gone missing, the spell fizzles. It cannot seem to get a lock.
That's still useful information. It means they're not captive somewhere. Yeah.
It means you can't get a lock. I can't say whether that...
Yeah, that's true. You can't say.
But if you want to scry one more time on a different target.
Would you like a suggestion, or do you want to?
I would love a suggestion.
Aaron Pike.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to see what Aaron Pike is up to.
Okay. With your ice cream or Jell-O or whatever, food scrying ritual you have to concoct. You scry on famous oceanic explorer Aaron Pike. We watch him suiting up in diver's gear. We see him suiting up with weaponry. We see him join the other group of divers. They pick up a siren from the deep, and she travels with them in an unmarked vehicle to the docks. They board the boat, and the boat sails out into the bay. A submersible craft is placed in the water. Divers load in, and the siren swims ahead. And as you follow Aaron Pike, you can see his view through the submersible's view screen. The siren swimming in the water. It gets dark because it is sunset. You are under the water with them at this point. And we see, just for camera purposes, the siren slows, the submersible slows also. And she opens her mouth and a whirlpool opens in the water a few hundred meters down below the surface of the Portland Bay area. And the siren slips through, and the submersible slips through, and then it closes. And that's where we'll end our session.
Nice. Return of the whirlpool.
What is happening?
Hell yeah.
So, you now know something's happening. You just don't know where they're going or why. We will pick up next time with proper casino adventures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.